financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by Thav Gross. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is Brian does what Pat and Ken says, and student debt and tax debt and bankruptcy.
Well, you're 50% correct on the topic today.
Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Ken.
Good morning, Pat.
The last show we talked about how wonderful it is for Brian working with Ken. We never asked how Ken thinks it is working with Brian. How fantastic is he working side by side for all these years?
It's been a great experience. One that everyone should go through in their lives. You learn how to pivot. You learn how to
Mary, you learn how to resign.
You learn how to resign.
Are you allowed to resign with a coworker?
Yes, you can become resigned to their idiosyncrasies so that they don't impact you as much. And you learn respect, mutual respect. And actually, I can honestly say it's been a wonderful relationship.
Yeah, I tell you, I love working with you guys. I just love coming over and I love talking to you guys and working with you guys.
To the extent of any attributes that are positive of Brian, I like to think that I helped mentor him into that direction.
I would concur with that.
To the extent that there are certain aspects to him that we would prefer not to have to deal with, I take no responsibility.
So I just finished I'm the elder law professor at Michigan State Law School. I know you got it.
Wait. No, let's ask you before you. What's it like working with your daughter?
It's fantastic. I love it in the sense, this is one of the biggest reasons. I just can't lock the door and retire because I have thousands of clients that we're working with that have, it's like going to the doctor. You hate finding new doctors. So having the ability to pass that down to the next generation and the bedside manner that she has, which is really, really important, having a good bedside manner for these families and clients is absolute pleasure. And then we have Joe at the office too. I want to not minimize him, but having a family member there, and Jim's son is in law school right now, James, and we're really excited. We've been within a mile of our building since 1955. So my dad took over. He had that horrible stroke. Luckily, me and Jim were there. 30 years later, we have Kelsey and Joe and the next whole people.
Simasco Law lives.
Hope so.
And will continue to do so.
Hope so.
So let's talk about student debt and tax debt and bankruptcy.
Oh, God. What a tough topic.
I never finished my story. These law students.
You have a story?
The law students, when they're out trying to find their career and go into new jobs and new professions, I go, there's one rule that you have to follow, and there's only one rule. Don't make your boss look bad. Period. If you can go through life without making your boss look bad, then you got a whip, right? Everything flows down from that. So for the last 30 years working there, I bet you never made them look bad.
Well, for a long, long time, I would agree with that. There's been moments that I haven't looked so good, but early on, when I was younger.
You were a young whippersnapper.
The only thing that someone will get in trouble in my office.
But you always came with passion, and
that's important.
Going right to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Passion, when you practice law, is probably one of the most essential attributes and positives.
The only thing that
because if you knew then what you know now, you would have been a doctor.
You have to be aggressive with your plans, planning how to do it in the future. I get in trouble. If my people will not call a client back, that's when their ass is in trouble. Everything else can flow through it. You try hard, you work hard, they understand that. But if you're not calling people back.
I sit there, I've been practicing a long time. And when my day is over and after dinner, I'm laying on the couch, watching TV usually, and my phone is on the little side table next to the couch. And half the time I'm checking my emails and everything else. I'm still emailing clients in the middle at night. And you know what? Clients love when they get an email from you. When they email you at 10:15 and you reply at 10:17, they know it. Now, you could look at that phone and you could say, I could wait till the morning to answer it. But you know what I do is, I'm going to have to answer it in the morning anyway. I'll answer it now, and they'll appreciate it more, and then I don't have to worry about it.
This is what happened last night. Facebook. I'm looking for an elder law attorney. So you go on it. There's
I commented on that.
30 people, Smasko. One guy goes, anybody but Smask. He's a scumbag. He's a loser. He's a piece of crap.
What's his name said that? Did you see my comment back on that? I put you guys with a smiling face.
Yeah, that's it. So you can't. Most of the clients, it's not clients that are saying, it's the kids that got cut out of the.
This is off topic, but let me ask you a question, because I know you're on Facebook a lot. I have found Facebook to have moved into a very annoying stage.
Dangerous.
More so than before.
Dangerous.
There's no limitations on what people will post, because that all went away. I find it where I'm cringing when I look at so many posts that it's turned me off to Facebook.
I use it for birthdays.
I still look and I smile and I reply to things that I like, but I have to ignore so much.
Politics.
That it's the politics. And if you ever look at Twitter, that's the most disgusting situation ever, because people are outrageous. All right, let's talk about student debt and tax and bankruptcy.
Okay.
Tax debt and bankruptcy. So big question is, can you discharge tax debt in bankruptcy, and can you discharge student debt in bankruptcy?
Yes, but it is extremely complicated.
So is the more or less the general rule is no, and there's exceptions that allow it?
No, more or less is you got to know how to do it. So we'll start with...
You racking up the credit cards to pay off your tax debt.
No, credit cards... If you pay
Is that a good idea?
No, because if you pay your tax debt with your credit cards, the credit card debt becomes non-dischargeable.
What?
Yep, it's in the bankruptcy code.
What?
Take a break. I want to ask some questions about that.
What?
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Thav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Thav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirshner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP.
You know, Dad always asked that we look after Mom when he passed away.
I know, but she insisted on moving down to the Villages, and now she has that new boyfriend, and I am worried. Maybe it's time to just call Samasco Law.
Take the stress out of your family's future. Reach out to Samasco Law and set a course through life's difficult times. Samasco Law, protecting what means most, because that's what we do.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call Thav Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call Thav Gross today, 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Thav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
All right, we're back. So Pat and I both have the same question.
Wait, what did you say first? That if you pay off...
So if you utilize your credit cards to pay your income tax obligations, and then you file bankruptcy, technically the obligation to the credit card company has become non-dischargeable.
How will they know?
How will they know? You know what?
I mean, if you do a cash advance and you write the check to IRS, that would be a bad one.
So the answer is they may or may not know, but there is exposure and potential.
The lawyer's job is you got a fiduciary duty to fill out the bankruptcy petition.
Sure, but I don't have to disclose that the money was used to pay for the tax.
They don't ask that question on the petition.
Generally not.
Well, what it is, though, with now AI, oh my God, they know everything, or they can know everything, or they can figure out how to know everything in the future. So you got to set it up the right way. I mean, if you're going to do that, most people won't.
So
do that,
let's start with, because we're two different topics, right? Income tax debt dischargeability, student loan dischargeability.
What do you want to start with?
Let's start with student loan dischargeability.
Okay.
So traditionally, student loans are not dischargeable in bankruptcy. Period. Okay? You can have no money, you have to, in order to discharge a student loan, you have to meet what's called the Brunner test. It's a series of...
Isn't that the dead cat test?
It is the dead cat test. No, it's the you own a cat, you don't discharge your student loans. Basically,
good, that's why you have to kill the cat in order to discharge student loans.
If you apply all these different factors, and if you don't meet them, the student loans are non-dischargeable. But the problem is that it's almost impossible to meet the requirements of the Brunner test.
All right, just pause for 1 second. I want you to imagine that I'm meeting with a client. I'm taking the role of Brian as the bankruptcy attorney, and we're looking at trying to discharge the student debt. And I'm asking questions. Do you own a house? Yes. Do you have any credit card debt? Do you own a dog? Yes. Do you own a cat? Yes. Oh,
sorry.
Get rid of the cat.
Secretary, show them out.
Get rid of the cat.
It's.
What about a dog? Same thing.
Same concept. If you have any disposable income,
you're paying for cat food
that you could utilize to pay towards your student loan, you're not going to be able to discharge your student loan.
So if you don't pay for cat food, no vet bills.
So
cat has to survive.
All right, let's get into that's the old test.
Survival of the fittest for the cat. All right, go ahead.
Survival of the fittest for the client.
Okay.
So during the Biden administration,
new test is what?
During the Biden administration, they introduced a program that allows the client to sue the Department of Education and the Department of Justice within the bankruptcy in an adversary complaint and fill out this form called an attestation form. If you meet the certain requirements of the program, now the government will agree to either discharge your student loans or partially discharge your student loans.
How often is this used? Is it viable? Does it work?
Well, so if you're above the median income, you're not discharging your student loans. That's like right away, you're not going to get there. If you haven't been paying back your student loans for at least 10 years, it's one of the main factors to discharging your student loans.
You have to have been paying it for 10 years?
Now, payment
and if you're above the median income, you're likely don't need a bankruptcy.
Not getting discharged.
So there's a very small number of people that are...
What percentage?
I would say it's probably 5 or 6%.
Okay.
Okay. However, it used to be 0.
Okay, so it's now something you have to analyze when you're looking at a client.
So
95% of the time it doesn't work. So what's your solution now?
Well,
trying to move this along.
At the 5% that it can work for is an exciting opportunity, and it works both in Chapter 7 and in Chapter 13.
So if you're out there listening, if you've been paying that loan for 10 years, you're above the median income, and you're settled with student debt.
Income.
What's that?
If you're below the median
And
income.
below the median income, then you might be able to discharge that loan, and you should be excited, and then Brian will be excited when you come in and do it. Now can we talk about the other 95% of the people?
So the other
I want to
95
talk about what excites Brian. You got
So the
it
other
very
90. Well, this is cool because this is new.
That's the
right?
passion that we were talking
Yeah, he's
about.
passionate
You want
about
a
that.
lawyer that's passionate, wants to every opportunity to save every nickel.
Look, this is new.
What are we doing about the other
for the
95%?
last 30 years of my career, we have not been able to discharge student loans.
In all candor, you're talking about maybe 5%.
Yeah.
What about the other 95%?
The other 95% can control their student loans inside and outside of bankruptcy.
So that's the general, how does that work? That's the general remedy, right?
So yes, either Chapter 13 bankruptcy allows you to maintain and pay what you can afford over a 3 to 5 year stretch, kicking the can down the road, hopefully so that
The government
Congress
change
will
the
actually
rules.
change the rules. And there is movement actually towards that, because this program that the Biden administration put in place, that the Trump administration is maintaining, is gaining traction. So the reality is that there is movement towards adjusting the bankruptcy
There's rationality to it in that when you talk about on an economic basis.
And if you get rid of all the credit card debt, then there's more money to pay.
If all
them
these
too.
people are saddled with student loan debt, they're not going to be able to be eligible to buy a house.
Car.
They're not going to be able to grow the economy, and that brings the economy down, and that stifles growth.
But the
and
numbers,
that's not good for everybody.
You have to understand the volume of student loan debt that we're seeing. It's so
That's the
dramatically
trouble.
different.
Bigger than credit card debt, right?
Oh, by far. I mean, when I started practicing law, you would see somebody walk in with $7,000 to $10,000 worth of credit student loan debt. Now I'm seeing people walk in with $200,000 to $300,000 worth of student loan
That's
debt.
because of universities. I think it's
No,
atrocity.
actually, it's because of student loans.
Yeah.
The more
Free.
student loan money you can borrow, the more money that the universities could charge.
That's my
the
point.
more money that the
Yeah,
universities charge, the more
that's my
student loan
point.
money you can borrow.
It was making the student loan money available
Where
that
there's-
fueled the whole
problem.
Where
thing.
there's been a
Further-
significant...
Did you have
further-
any student loans?
No, luckily.
Did you?
I did a little bit.
When I graduated law school, because I deferred my student loans till then, I had an $89 a month payment that went on for 5 years.
So
That was it.
I know we're coming up on a break.
It
but
wasn't
I
painful.
will.
We're going to come on a break, and then you'll do whatever you're going to do.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
Worth Ave Gross, our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call Thav Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call Thav Gross today, 888-235-HELP.
You know, Dad made us promise we would never put him in a nursing home.
I know, but he found that new caregiver on the internet, and I'm getting worried.
Don't worry, honey. I know just how to take care of you.
I'm sure you do.
Maybe it's time to call Samasco Law.
You know, I've heard of them. All my friends on Facebook use them.
Take the stress out of your family's future. Reach out to Samasco Law and set a course through life's difficult times. Samasco Law, protecting what means most because that's what we do.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Thav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Worth Ave Gross, our firm will solve your problem.
Time for announcements. Oh, and I announced Thav Gross has opened a new office downriver in the Horizon building on Eureka Road. So now we're in Flint, downriver, and also our home office in Bingham Farms. Remember, you can always come in for a free consultation. You can do it by Zoom conference, in the office, any way that works best for you. Just call 888-235-HELP or go to the website, thavgross.com, to sign up. Debt issues, tax issues, estate planning issues, business law issues, elder law issues with Pat or Kelsey, disability issues with Jeff Kirshner. Again, sign up at lawandreality.com or thavgross.com or just call 888-235-HELP. Also, if you go to the website, you'll see there's free reports. Resolving Tax Problems, The Real Solutions by Jeff Linden and myself. Bankruptcy, Is It Right for Me by Brian Small. How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure. Business Formations, Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit and Michigan. And The Retiree's Guide to Social Security by Pat Simasko. I want to thank our sponsors, Thav Gross, Simasko Law, Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Thav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Thav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirshner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're back.
All I was going to say was that under the Trump administration now, we've had a cap on these student loans.
Good.
You can't borrow as much anymore. Doctors can't borrow $500,000. They can borrow $200,000.
It's the kids that are doing to get a
the
Starbucks
undergraduate
degree.
student loans are limited now.
Tax is a bigger issue right now.
It
Some
is.
came up. There was one of the people from the presidential thing said, "Hey, reduce or modify your tax withholdings to put more money in your bank account now." That's the silliest thing in the world because next year you're going to owe a bunch more money in tax.
That's going to put people in trouble.
They don't tell you that. So, but what about the tax? If you can't pay that tax debt next year because you change your withholding now, what do you do?
And what about tax scams too?
So first of all,
That's the
income
scam.
taxes are dischargeable in bankruptcy. Okay, start off with they had to have come due at least 3 years ago. You had to have filed them for at least 2 years, and you couldn't have been assessed in the last 240 days. Effectively, file on time. If you owe, you can discharge your tax returns right now. Since this is 2026, and your 2025 tax return just came due, the taxes that are now dischargeable are up through 2022.
It's kind of COVID era, so there may be people.
23, 24, and
yeah.
25 are non-dischargeable because they're not old enough. 22, if you filed it on time, is dischargeable. But
time flies.
Yeah, so you can walk away from those tax obligations. And because tax debt is what we consider a non-consumer debt, if the majority of your debt is non-consumer debt, we don't have to worry about the means test. We don't have to worry about how much money you make. All we have to do is file a bankruptcy and wipe out your tax debt.
Just in the context of all the problems that people face financially, people would be surprised to know that dealing with tax debt is probably the easiest
That's what
of
I
many
heard.
of them. First of all, federal tax debt, IRS, if you have right representation and you know the rules, has many programs that are very accommodating
want you
and
to have.
procedural protections that you have.
You've got bankruptcy, you've got installment payment agreements, you've got
Jeff,
offers and
you have
compromise.
all these things to protect you. State's not as easy. If you're between the two, pay the state, leave the feds
My
out
daughter
to pay.
worked for the IRS. She was a lawyer that worked for the IRS. And she said when she would email taxpayers or lawyers, they would respond in literally 3 seconds to her email. Now she works for Wayne State and they don't respond to her. They go, what the hell's going on? I go, there's a big difference between the IRS scare.
So you
You want to know what's funny is because you do the same thing. we represent many clients that have tax problems, and on every client that has a tax problem, I'm listed on the power of attorney with Jeff Linden, and Brian often is as well. But I usually don't handle those cases specifically. So I get all this correspondence from the Internal Revenue
You're
Service
on the list.
because I'm on the list. Every time I see that envelope, I sit there saying,
cringe.
"What do they want from
Oh,
me?"
no,
and I open the envelope right away and say, "Oh, good, it's
Thank
about a
God.
client, it's not me."
Brian.
So
you're right. It does get your attention.
Real fast.
whether you're in Chapter 7 or Chapter 13, you can discharge your student loans. Your income tax debt, and you can control that which has to be paid back through a Chapter 13 process.
So that works.
But I'm now that it's tax season and it's maybe we're past tax season, and you're thinking, oh my God, I got a wonderful refund. I want to warn people about a scam. If you suddenly got a refund, a big one, and you weren't entitled to a refund in all the prior years, and somebody said, hey, I've got this great tax preparer I'm going to send you to.
That's a problem.
That's what the rich people do.
I want you to understand that you need to look at your tax return, because most people only see that line that says the refund and they're happy and that's it. Well, that tax preparer that you called and you gave your information over the phone to, prepared your taxes, filed them as self-prepared, okay? So that there's nobody
how did the
lay
tax
blame on.
preparer get the money?
How did they get paid?
Yeah.
Oh,
They come
get paid
from the IRS?
Oh, they'll have the client pay them in cash. And
So
then what happens?
Is that tax preparer getting paid more than a normal tax preparer?
Absolutely, to get this magic refund. And I'm going to tell you something. If you look through your tax return, which most people don't do, they just sign page 2. They don't look at the other 50 pages. Well, what happens is there's a deduction for a failing business. $85,000 for supplies. $55,000
Oh,
for
it's the audit.
Just
and
made up.
it's a transportation company that you don't own, and it's made up. And guess what? You're going to get audited, and you owe all that money
So are
back
they
to the
creating
government.
fake Schedule Cs?
That's what
Yeah,
they're
they are
doing.
creating fake Schedule Cs.
And you did it on your own, self-prepared.
And you did it on your own, and you will never find that preparer again.
Remember,
so the recommendation is
if it's too good to be true,
it is. So find yourself a good tax preparer. At least go to the H&R Block, to the legitimate tax preparer. And if you don't get a refund, you don't get a refund. But if you're getting a $10,000 refund and you never got one before, you likely you're part of a scam.
And don't be so naive to think that you're not part of the scam. If you know that same income, no refund, 20 years, or you get a refund of between $500 and $1,000, and all of a sudden you're getting a refund of $9,000. You know it's wrong. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Have a great week. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.